Hey there, storytellers, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a 24-hour reading vlog. So I'm just comfy and cozy, gonna get going on that September TBR, which you should have seen by now. It's definitely up. If you haven't, go check that out. But I figured what better way to hold me accountable than filming a 24-hour reading vlog right after I film my TBR, so it's all fresh and ready to go. But I'm cheating a little bit. I am normally up at like 3:30 a.m. when I'm working. I'm currently not, because we had an outbreak and everybody had to quarantine, so we'll be going back on Monday. But because I normally work at 3:30, I can't do a midnight to midnight without totally messing up my sleep schedule, which has already started to happen. So I'm going to try to get back on track with that tonight. So I'm doing a noon to noon. It'll still be 24 hours. It'll still be tons of reading goodness, but it just won't be entirely in the dark. So we're just going to get right on into it. I'll probably make lunch soon because it's almost noon. Rhyming. Timing. Woohoo. Okay, I'm gonna stop making corny rhymes now and get to reading soon. And in the next few minutes, it's just prior to noon right now, so I'll give myself a second to get everything together, and then we'll get right on into it. So I took some time to film that September TBR I was talking about, and now I'm going to get on reading in before lunch. Got my coconut shrimp, got my Mr. Kate Breaking Beige episode queued up. It's time for lunch, and then I'll get back to reading.
In a beige world, Mr. Kate is on a mission to break it.
I'm about 60 pages from the end right now, and while Tavia is dealing with her sirenness, we are just about to find out what Effie really is, and I'm very excited because there's been hints all along the way, and I have a guess, and I want to see if I'm anywhere near right, so let's see what she is. Mythology nerd strikes again. Ugh, I had to get through like 30 more pages before they revealed what Effie really is. But I was right, because I know my mythology, which is what this book is based in terms of what people are who have sort of supernatural abilities. I feel vindicated. To say the you-know-what has hit the fan is an understatement. Effie is what I thought she was, and Tavia is still a siren, and it got real dramatic real fast. And there are some consequences they are gonna have to live with, but it's wild. I have 3 chapters left, and then I will have officially finished A Song Below Water, and I will update you on what I thought about it a little bit more after I process it.
But there's no cheese. Aisle 10 is dairy, 10 is an even number last time I checked.
I took a quick dinner break. I finished A Song Below Water right before our dinner showed up, so I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I am still kind of processing. I shouldn't have been as surprised as I was at the big reveal of like who Effie really is. It's definitely planted along the way, so I saw it coming, and yet I enjoyed the delivery of it. There was sort of a wild, chaotic, immediate like after effects of the big reveal, so that kind of kept it exciting even though I saw it coming. I really liked, like I said, this author's blend of contemporary and fantasy elements. I thought it made the world very believable. By the end of it, I definitely liked Tavia a little bit more than I did at the beginning. She's definitely a lot stronger of a character by the end of it, but it was definitely Effie's journey that kept me reading. It was very exciting to sort of see what was happening to somebody who was something more special than they ever anticipated being, alongside somebody who has sort of been special their whole life, but that specialness is something that makes their lives dangerous. I will go into my thoughts on this more in my Stories I Ate This Month video that you will see at the end of the month, because now I've finished a book, so at least I can talk about one, right? This is probably a 4 for me, a 4.5. I haven't quite decided. I have to ruminate on it a little bit more, but my initial reaction was really positive, so I think it'll be a high 1 for me at the very least. But now the question is, what do I read next for this 24-hour reading vlog? And as you saw earlier, I mentioned my September TBR. You've seen it by now. So I do have options that I could be reading. I could read Cursed and finish that up, or I could tackle any of the other books I've started, really. I could do Chain of Gold, or I could do one of my rereads, but I also have a book from the library that I was interested in checking out called The Black Flamingo. So this follows the main character, Michael, who is mixed race and gay, along his journey of coming out and accepting himself as a person. It is a contemporary novel as far as I know, and it is written in verse, so it shouldn't take too long. I've heard the audiobook is supposed to be great, so I'm considering getting it, but I also have the physical copy that I borrowed from the library, so I might pick up this one next, just because I don't have forever to read it, since it is a library book, and I'm kind of in that mood, honestly. So I think I'm gonna go with The Black Flamingo as my next read, and I think I might take a bath to enjoy it, just to sort of get in that cozy bookish mood some more.
His mouth with his sleeve for the smell, and crept past sleeping piles of lepers. He knelt down and left the end of the rope he'd been trailing in the center of the tunnel, then hurried to the iron doors of the Leper King's vault.
So I took a couple minutes to sit out on the porch and just enjoy the sunset going down. I listened to 2 chapters of Cursed, so I'm not quite at halfway. I'm like 4% away from being halfway done with this one, and we just got introduced to Lancelot, who I didn't realize was going to be part of this story. I guess because it's focused on a character that's never the main character, so I guess I just didn't anticipate all of the figures of Arthurian legend being part of it, especially since it's been told so differently so far. Arthur makes sense, of course, because he's usually the once and future destined king, and now it's Nimwe's the one being chosen by the sword. But Lancelot is a big role in Arthur's story. I don't know to what extent he's going to be a role in Nimwe's, but interesting that he just came up. So I am going to go ahead and get a bath going now and get cozy in warm water so I can get reading The Black Flamingo. It is nearly 9:30. I got out of the bath about half an hour ago, and at that point I had gotten to about the halfway mark in The Black Flamingo. Michael is 18. He's about to go to university and sort of be able to more freely explore his identity for the first time. He's just had a falling out with somebody who's been his best friend since he was, I think, in middle school is when they met, and over some problematic beliefs that she holds. But his mother and sister seem to be really supportive. Most of his family, extended family, doesn't seem to know or isn't willing to admit it, therefore is not very accepting of his identity. So there's that interesting dynamic where he's himself around them, but he's also sort of walking on eggshells, and he feels that way with a lot of people. And he's also exploring sort of how to have relationships that are and are not romantic with people of both genders. I don't want to say he's exploring relationships with girls, but the thoughts have crossed his mind, as I'm sure a lot of people feel, struggle with that same thought pattern of, am I attracted to this other gender or am I not? And what I'm attracted to in them is just sort of a reflection of personality traits that I myself possess, but are not sort of that sexual attraction, to be perfectly frank. So we're getting into his more young adult life and exploring who he is. We have not gotten to the point where I believe he does drag, so that's coming up. But I am getting a little bit tired. I'm going to try to get back on track with my sleep schedule from working, since we're going back in a few days. So I'm probably going to turn in soon. I don't know if I will read more, but if I do, I will give you that update in the morning. It's just after 9 a.m. the next day. I don't know. I think it's the 4th. Who knows? It's a lovely day. The windows are open. We're gonna go sit on the porch for a while, so I thought I'd bring my book to read for a little bit. I started my laundry, as you saw, so gonna have a nice, relaxing morning. We'll probably get to breakfast shortly, because I am getting hungry, but I thought I'd get a little reading done while we're sitting outside. It's like 10:30 right now. I've got breakfast made, and I'm going to watch a little bit of Wolf Blood. It's one of my favorite British shows, at least the first 2 seasons. I love the OG cast. I did keep watching, but the OG cast is where it's at. But I like to rewatch it in the fall because it's about werewolves, so it's very autumn vibes. But I'm gonna do that. and hopefully I'll be done by 11, and I will have an hour before my 24 hours is up to finish reading The Black Flamingo. We will see.
I left my heart in San Francisco.
Oh, don't break my heart.
You took my heart.
I knew I couldn't trust you.
That's not a song title.
Silverstein.
She's right, actually.
So I looked at the original clip I filmed yesterday of when I started reading, and I didn't start reading till 12:30, so it's like 11:55 right now, and I might cheat a little bit and go till 12:30 because I am just like 40 pages shy of the end, and I would like to have this finished for today, so I'm gonna do that. Shh. Just a little after 12. I guess we'll say I went noon to noon. I cut it a little short on both ends. I did just finish The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta, and it's a really nicely written book. I think I mentioned it earlier. It's written in verse, but it's really done in a beautiful rhythmic way. I find a lot of verse books, I enjoy them and they read really easily, but they lack a sort of rhythmic quality, and I can imagine this is a fantastic audiobook. The character is from London, so I would imagine there's a British accent to the audiobook, or at least I hope there is. Basically, this is Michael's story of coming out as gay and sort of learning to accept who he is as a person and living his life how he wants to live it and for nobody else. I think it's a story anyone can read and be inspired by and enjoy. I'm thinking about what I want to rate it. It might be a 5-star read for me. It's not anything sort of earth-shattering, if you know what I mean. There's no like big twists and turns and reveals like you would have in an epic fantasy or something like that. It's just a really nice contemporary story about a person just learning to love themselves and live their truth, which I really enjoyed. So this, I think, might be a 5-star read for me. It's a really beautiful novel, and I'd highly recommend anyone pick it up. But that is the end of this 24-hour reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know by leaving a like down below. If you want to see more in the future, let me know down in the comments. I'm happy to do them when I get the chance. For now, I am going to go. If you want to keep up with me and all of my bookish adventures, you can always click the subscribe button, or you can ring the little bell so that you don't miss a beat. I will see you guys next time. Bye!